Now, here we go. We have got the multiple access protocols. First question is like this. In which method? Okay, there are three things. In which methods no station is superior to another station and no station is assigned the control over another. Okay, it is something like a peer. Nobody is superior, nobody is inferior, nobody is having a control over the multiple access as well. How can you answer this question? In this question, you can straight away remove none of the above because one of the remaining three must be the answer. But in your examination, we are not permitted to use none of the above, all of the above, and answers like that, right? So that will not be your option, but still in this question that becomes one of the options anyway. So in where do we have no station is superior to another, where everyone is equal, and there is nobody is assigned any control. So when you talk about the taking turns, there is somebody who is assigned the control, and when you have the channel partitioning, and again somebody is given priority or preference over others. So my answer would be here the random access method, where everyone is given the permission to access the link for data transmission, right? So random access should be the answer, right? Okay. In dash, okay, the chance of collision can be reduced if a station senses the medium before trying to use it. Okay, you have got MA stands for multiple access, then carrier sense multiple access, frequency division multiple access, code division multiple access, right? Now the question is not confusing, it's very straightforward question. The chance of collision can be reduced if a station senses the medium. In which of these four protocols the station senses the medium? Of course, the first one is multiple access. We don't have a specific protocol for that. You can straight away remove that from the options list. You got the carrier sense multiple access, frequency division, code division. Please remember, in frequency division and code division, they don't sense the carrier. In their frequency they continue sending, they cannot use others frequency. In the same way, in time division multiplexing, they are permitted to send the data in their time, others are not permitted, so there is no possibility of collision. In code division, everyone is given the fair chance. They use their own code to understand uh, the sender's data. All right, so there also you are not going to sense the carrier. So carrier sensing is happening only in carrier sense multiple access, that is CSMA. All right, that augments the CSMA algorithm to detect collision. Okay, this is an interesting question. There are two variations we have spoken earlier about CSMA, carrier sense multiple access. There are two variations. One is collision detection, the other one is collision avoidance. Don't you think this has the straight answer of carrier sense multiple access with collision detection? The third one, the third option here is either A or B. Either A or B is also all right, a good answer here, but you should always go for the best answer. Okay, both A and B is not the right answer, because the second option is a carrier sense multiple access with collision avoidance. CSMA CA is used in the wireless network. Okay, so I would go for CSMA CD here, collision detection. Okay, in which method? Okay, in which class of method? A station monitors the medium after it sends a frame to see if the transmission was successful. If so, the station is finished. However, if there is a collision, the frame is sent again. This I have explained to you with the graph, okay, where there were three stations at least, okay, station A, B, and C, where station B had nothing to send at that moment. So station A started sending, and station C also started sending after some time. They sense the carrier is free. So they start sending the carrier because it's a broadcast medium. The sending information is going to everyone. At the time, the station C senses the carrier. There is no it's not busy, it is idle, the channel is idle, hence it also started sending. And you remember, at a particular point of time, these two signals collided each other, and they also took little more time to understand the collision. Okay, yes, you remember it correctly, it is CSMA CA. Okay, it is not, I'm sorry, CSMA CD, collision detection, because we haven't spoken about carrier sense multiple access with collision avoidance. Okay, it is only CSMA CD, collision detection. All right. To avoid collisions on wireless network, dash was invented. The question has the answer. Okay, avoid the collision. All right, or collision avoidance. And the second hint which you got is wireless networks. Okay, and again the answer is supposed to be carrier sense multiple access with collision avoidance. Though we talk about collision avoidance, we don't have the detailed description in our textbook part of your syllabus. However, you may please read about carrier sense multiple access with collision avoidance, especially on the Wi-Fi network IEEE 802.11i. Very interesting phenomena are happening. Okay, how the collision can be avoided in a broadcast medium, especially channel like wireless channel, right? So it speaks about collision avoidance. Interesting things are presented in that topic. Okay, moving on. In dash, collisions are avoided. Okay, again the straight answer. Collisions are avoided through the use of strategies, interframe space, contention window, and the acknowledgement. Okay, and again the answer is CSMA CA, carrier sense multiple access with collision avoidance. All right. Okay. In which method the stations consult one another to find which station has the right to send? Okay, stations are talking to each other. Okay, who can send it now? I don't think it is none of the above, so remove it. Channel partitioning, are they consulting each other? No, they are given a specific time and they are sending in that time. What could be the answer? Is it taking turns or random access? In taking turns, are they consulting each other? I do not know. There is somebody who is sitting and coordinating. In random access seems to be right answer for me. I do not know. It could be random access and taking turns, but it should be random access in my understanding, because where the stations are sensing the channel, if it is busy, they don't send it. If it is not busy, they are sending it. In the case of taking turns, okay, are they consulting each other? No, I don't think they consult each other. There is somebody who is coordinating. Oh, the answer is taking turns here. Okay, this is something tricky question. I do not know how it taking turns, but the normally in taking turns there is a person, probably bully, okay, who is sitting in the middle and who is coordinating with all other nodes. So what could be the understanding here? Who is that poller, the person who is doing the polling is supposed to be one of the stations. Okay, so if you take that angle, taking turns, but I was thinking it is random access protocol. All right, but anyway, taking turns is the right answer. Okay, in which method a station cannot send unless it has been authorized by other station? Okay, this question is clear. All right, you cannot send unless somebody gives you the permission. Okay, somebody has to authorize you. Obviously straight away it is taking turns. It is not random access, it is not channel partitioning, and it is not none of the above. It is taking turns, because you should either have a token, or there should be a person called poller who should be sitting in the middle, coordinating the entire operation of data communication, right? So taking turns protocols. Okay. In which method a station needs to make a reservation before sending data? Time is divided into intervals. Okay, you should have a reservation, and the time is also divided into interval. Okay, is it token passing? In token passing also, okay, reservation. All right. Okay, the second one is called reservation based protocol. That is uh, normally the time division multiplexes and frequency division multiplexes, that is channel partitioning protocol. I think the channel partitioning protocols is the right answer. The reservation based protocol is the right answer. Um, Let me see. Yeah, this is reservation based. Please remember, channel partitioning protocol, in other words, is called as reservation based protocols. Okay. All right. Okay. In which method the stations in a network are organized in a logical ring? Okay. All the nodes, so if there are 10 nodes, they all are arranged in a ring format. It's not exactly going to be the ring format. So if you have to reach someone, you have to go through the actual path, or maybe in the reverse way. Okay, so think like a ring road where all the other roads are connected to that, but the ring road will be there. It need not be the exact ring shape. Okay, but it's going to be at the peripheral level or the backbone level. So where do we have the link where everyone is connected? It's going to be token passing. Okay, so token passing protocol, the famous the protocol is token ring, IEEE 802.5, I suppose, where the stations are connected in a ring method, not in reservation. Reservation is your channel partitioning protocol, and also not in polling protocol. It is token passing. All right. In which method each station has a predecessor and a successor? Okay. When you think about the ring topology, you are supposed to think about your queue. Not only queue, do we have something called circular queue? Yes. Okay. So in the circular queue, if you think about, of course, there are places where you can insert the packet. There are places, the data or the numbers or the value. In some other words, they are going to bring it back when you are removing. Okay, so you think about the circular queue, same logic. Okay, every node has a predecessor and the successor. What happens in the case of token passing methodology? There is a software piece of, or a small program code, okay, which is passed across. So whenever there is a person, he will be having a predecessor who was having this token earlier, which has come to me, and then I'm supposed to pass to the person who is next to me. He is my successor. So this is not happening in your channel partitioning or reservation or polling based methodology. Okay, this is going to be in token passing methodology. Moving on. Where, okay, in dash, each station is allocated a band to send its data. Okay, you got the clue. All right, still, in other words, each band is reserved for a specific station, and it belongs to the station all the time. Think about your FM radios. All right, so each station is allotted a certain frequency range. Okay, and that is reserved only for that particular station. All right, so, and the station 93.5 Suryan FM, for instance, is going to use the same frequency all the time. All right, it is a frequency division multiple access. Right, so it is not time division. In the case of time division, at various time interval, different stations should use the frequency. That is called time division. It is not code division. Also, a specific band is reserved for the specific station in frequency division multiple access. Okay. um, in dash method, a special packet called dash is circulated or circulates through the ring, right? So the keyword here is packet is circulated through the ring. Okay, so this indicates that this is going to be a ring topology. When you have the ring topology, you have got something called a token, that is called the packet. It is circulated, so you pass the tokens. So that should be the clue. All right, so it's going to be reservation or control frame. No, control frames are not circulated through the ring. Poll requests are also not circulated in the ring. Tokens, okay, tokens are circulated through the ring. So this is how you can find out the answer. Here it is in token passing method. A special packet called a token is circulated through the ring. Okay. DAS is a multiple access method. Okay, that's multiple access protocols in which the available bandwidth of a link is shared in time. Okay, frequency, or through code between different stations. uh, which is the class of protocol which is time division, frequency division, code division, random access or taking turns or channel partitioning. Random access, you got your CSMA, CSMA CD, Aloha, slotted Aloha. They all come under random access. Second one is taking turns, is your token passing as well as your polling protocol. Channel partitioning, you got your time division, access, multiple time division, multiple access, frequency division, multiple access, and code division, multiple access. Okay, so I suppose the answer should be the third one, the channel partitioning. Okay, right. In which method the available bandwidth is divided into frequency bands? These all are very simple questions. Don't expect them to be in your examination. So the answer should be frequency division. Okay, which requires that each station first listen to the medium before sending. All right, so every station has to sense the link, whether there is any data transmission happening. If there is something happening, you are supposed to wait for a random amount of time. If that is not happening, then you can send it. Where does it happen? Is it carrier sense multiple access, frequency division multiple access, code division multiple access? It is carrier sense multiple access. The station listens before sending. Okay. Moving on. Where the stations share the bandwidth of the channel in time. Okay. Time division multiple access. Okay. In which method each station is allocated a time slot during which it can send the data. Each station transmits its data only in its assigned time slot. Time division multiple access. Okay. Okay. Where each station transmits its data in its assigned time slot. Okay. This is a repetition. Time division multiple access. Okay. In which method each station sends a frame whenever it has a frame to send. All right. Um, both A and B. Okay. Both are Aloha. Whenever it has a frame to send, neither A and B, okay, it's not going to be neither. One of them should be the answer. So answer should be either A or B or C. Now, if we try to find the difference between pure Aloha and slotted Aloha, pure Aloha is actually Aloha. The second is slotted Aloha. What happens in the case of slotted Aloha? The time is divided into different frames. Don't be confused with this frame and the data link layer data called frame. Okay, so they are entirely different. Here we talk about the timeline. Okay, the time is divided into different slots called frame, where every station is permitted to send the data, and they can send the data at the start of the frame in the case of slotted Aloha. But in the case of Aloha, each station sends a frame whenever it has a frame. Okay. In the case of Aloha, we don't have such slot. Okay. When it has got a frame, it's going to send the data. So I would go for pure Aloha here. Yep. The answer is right. It's pure Aloha. Okay. Where do we have the stations use different codes to achieve multiple access? Okay. The answer is available in the question. You are not going to spend much time here. It's going to be code division multiple access. Right. Where each station is forced to send only at the beginning of the time slot. This should give you the hint if you remember what we have spoken 2 slides ago. Okay, where every station can send whenever it has got the frame. Okay, but here each station is forced to send the data only at the beginning of a time slot. Slotted Aloha. Okay, it's not pure Aloha, it is the slotted Aloha. Hope you understand the difference between Aloha and the slotted Aloha. Okay. Under which of the following scenarios, okay, BGP is not recommended? Okay, we have something about the BGP as well. Okay, BGP stands for Border Gateway Protocol. When you have the data packets to be routed across the autonomous system, you should have the BGP. Okay, when you have the different administrative domains or autonomous systems BGP. Okay, BGP is not recommended. Okay, these are the occasion, or in this occasion you are not supposed to go for BGP is the question. When you need to connect two or more ISPs, okay, to connect the ISPs, it's better if you have BGP because certainly they belong to different autonomous system. I don't think your other protocols will be able to help you to solve this problem. So I don't think the first answer is the right. When you need a default route to connect to a single ISP, okay, looks something strange. When you need a default route to connect to a single ISP, you can go for the default route. Okay, IP route 0000 and mask also 0000 and the next hop IP. That solves the problem. Let's see. It doesn't um, uh, imply that you should not use BGP. You can, but is it very much necessary? Is the question. Let's see. When you are sending a traffic through one autonomous system to get to another autonomous system, obviously you should go for BGP. Okay, you are in an autonomous system and your target network is another autonomous system, which is the remote autonomous, which means not directly connected to you. You have to go through another autonomous system. Obviously you should go for BGP. You can't rely on any other routing protocol here. Let's see. So C cannot be the answer. Okay, the traffic flow out of your network need to be managed to suit the policies of your organization. Please remember, it is the BGP which supports your policy based routing. All right, you can give us as many policies as possible to see that okay, this packet should not take this route, or you should not forward the packet from this autonomous system to another autonomous system because I don't get any monetary benefit. These all decisions can be taken. I think you should go for BGP. Okay, now the C and D cannot be the answer for this question for obvious reasons. When you need to connect two or more ISPs, when you need a default route. Okay, the best answer should be when you need a default route to connect the ISP, I don't need a BGP. Whereas in all the other three, C and D, I must use BGP. And second, also because they are different autonomous system, I should go for BGP. So my answer would be B, that you don't need BGP when you have a default route to connect to a single ISP. Yes, that's right. Okay. What kind of BGP session? What is a BGP session? When your client, when you have you call BGP peers. Okay, when two BGP neighbors. Okay, please remember the keywords. When two BGP neighbors establish a TCP connection, they become peers, BGP peers. Okay, TCP with 179 as the port number, if I remember correctly. Please check that. What kind of BGP session is established between two routers? They are adjacent. Okay, they are adjacent to each other, but in two different AS. Okay, so autonomous system 1, autonomous system 2. Okay, there are two routers. Okay, here one router, here another router. Those two establish a BGP session because they are adjacent. Adjacent is a one hop distance. Okay, from this it can be connected in one hop distance. BGP session is established. What kind of BGP it is? Okay, is it internal BGP? Is it external BGP? What is that direct? We don't have a keyword called direct here, so remove that. Default BGP, I don't think we have got something called default BGP also in our learning content. The competition should be either internal BGP or external BGP. When two routers are adjacent, they are supposed to they are establishing BGP, that is okay. But the point is in two different autonomous systems. So they are established connection across the autonomous system, inter autonomous system. So it's going to be external BGP, eBGP. All right, it's not IBGP. IBGPs are established in the same way when these adjacent routers are within your autonomous system. So it's going to be external BGP. Okay, now, which of the following is an exterior routing protocol? OSPF, EHRP, RIP version 2, BGP. Yes, you can answer straight away. The right answer here is BGP. Right? It is exterior routing protocol. All right. Match the following. Very interesting one. but you can answer it only if you know. This is given a higher difficulty level, or probably the highest difficulty level among the three. There are three things on the left, three things, sorry, 4 points on the left, 4 points on the right. You are supposed to do the match the following, very simple, which you do in the elementary school, but you should know what is what. Okay, let's read the points on the left hand side. Something called stub autonomous system, transit autonomous system, EBGP, IBGP. Okay, what are those? Stub autonomous system has only one connection with the other internet. Okay, which means it is not going to forward any packet towards it to another autonomous system. Okay, that's end. uh, Similar to our Karunyam, okay, almost, uh, because that is the dead end. After that, if you go in the road, you can go probably till Sadivail. After that, you have to come back in the bus. Okay, so it's not going to connect with Kerala and other things officially, right? So that is like something like a stub area, right? So stub autonomous system is the one which is not connecting the autonomous system, but which is connected to one autonomous system. That is called stub autonomous system. Transit, the exact sorry, the exact opposite of it. All right, which transmits the data between the autonomous system. You got the autonomous system 1 on the left hand side, autonomous system 3 on the right hand side. I'm the autonomous system 2. Then the data packets or the traffic from autonomous system 1 passes through me to the autonomous system 3. Then I become the transit autonomous system. Okay, EBGP is the exterior gateway protocol, border gateway protocol, which is used between the autonomous systems. IBGP within your autonomous system. So if you know this, let's see what's happening on the right hand side. Used by routers belonging to the same autonomous system. That is actually IBGP. So D should be 1. Let's check one more point anyway. Used by routers belonging to different autonomous system, EBGP. So C should be 2. So C is 2, D is 1. C is 2, D is 1. You got B and C as the answers here. So option A and option D are ruled out. I would go for B or C, and the variation comes in second and the first one. Okay, a single homed network with only one entry and exit point. Only one and entry and exit point is stub autonomous system. So A should be connected to 3. Where do we have A is 3? It's B. Let's check anyway. Data from one autonomous system travels through this to reach. Okay, it's a transit autonomous system. So B should be 4. Okay, A3, B4, C2, D1 is your option B. All right, so option B is the right answer here, right? So you should know what is what. Stub network, a single home network with only one entry and exit point. Transit, it is permitting the autonomous systems to exchange the traffic. EBGP, between the autonomous system, that is intra-autonomous system. IBGP, within intra-autonomous system routing is IBGP. Okay. Which of the following statements, okay, we have few more minutes to go. Which of the following statements is true with respect to BGP? Okay, Border Gateway Protocol. All right. Any two routers that have formed a TCP connection in order to exchange BGP routing information are called peers or neighbors. Yes, I think. Let's see. Any two routers that have been connected and supposed to make TCP connection in order to exchange BGP routing information are called peers or neighbors. Okay, what's the difference between first and second? Any two routers that are formed a TCP connection in order to exchange BGP routing information. Okay, here any two routers that have been connected and supposed to make TCP connection in order to, okay, all right. So there is a difference between first and second. Okay, in the first one, TCP connection is established between the routers, but the second one are connected. Any two routers, they are connected and then TCP connection is made. That's the question. Okay, the first one is the TCP connection. It connects with any two routers. Okay, it could be in one autonomous system, the other could be in some other autonomous system. They are not neighbors to each other. Second one, it says they should be connected to each other. This is something interesting. It says the second one, the router should be connected, then only you can make the BGP session. Is it true? I think they are supposed to be neighbors so that they can form the BGP peer. Let's see. Any two physically adjacent routers are called peers. No, no, they are only neighbors. Any routers belong to same autonomous systems called no, no, they are not called as peers. So I would go for B. Let's see. I'm still confused whether it's A and B, A or B. Yeah, it should be B. All right. So if the confusion is not there, it's very clear. When you have got the BGP session to be established, please remember the BGP session can be established between the router only if they are neighbors. Okay, they are supposed to be in one hop distance. You cannot make the TCP connection, which we normally do in the data transmission by the application layer protocol. From the client, the server can be in umpty number of hops away, but still you can make the connection. No, that is not true with BGP sessions. So it's BGP peers have to be connected, then TCP connection also to be established. Okay, so that's the end for today's session.